afternoon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How you doing today, man?
Good. Thank you. Now, before we get started with our session, I just want to go over this informed consent form with you, and then I'll have you sign it, and then from there, we'll go ahead and talk about what brings you in today, okay?
That's fine.
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and read off what's on the paper, and then I'll pass it to you, and then you can go ahead and sign. Dear friend, I am a student in an interviewing skills at Nova Southeastern University course. One of the requirements of this course is that I practice my counseling skills with volunteers. I appreciate your willingness to work with me on my class assignment. You may wish to talk about real concerns that you may have, or you may prefer to role play a problem or an issue that doesn't necessarily relate to you. However, please let me know which of these two possibilities that you choose. Here are some important dimensions of our work together. The first would be confidentiality, and the second would be our audio and videotaping that will be taking place during the session. As a student, I cannot offer any form of legal confidentiality. You may rest assured, however, that what you tell me in real or role-played situations will remain confidential and will remain with me, except for the following important exceptions, which must be reported as required by state law. The serious issue of harm to yourself or indications of abuse or neglect to children. Other special conditions as required by our state law may also be reported. An important part of our interviewing training is to make a recording and listen to my own work. This may be shared with my supervisor or students in my class. You'll find that the recording doesn't affect our practice session as long as you and I are comfortable. If you wish, I can turn off the recorder at any time. Recordings or written transcripts from the recording will be destroyed at the end of the course unless I have additional written permission from you. Boundaries of competence. As I am beginning as an interviewer, I obviously cannot do counseling and therapy. This is a practice session so that I can learn more about the interview process. In fact, I'd appreciate feedback from you at the end of our session. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so just go ahead and sign here. Awesome, thank you so much. Okay, so what brings you in today?
For the past 3 years, I think I've been having I call it a slight problem, but people around me have told me that it's been a big problem. So I've been told to come to a therapist, and I just wanted to see if you could give me some, words of encouragement or just a better way of me coping with recent life stress I've had.
Okay, so now you said others have seen your behavior as a problem recently. Could you tell me more about that behavior?
It'd be more of just drinking. I would say is a big factor, which leads to other stuff that might happen on a day-to-day, at home or at work.
Okay, so could you elaborate on the other stuff that your drinking affects?
I would say drinking at work. I tend to find myself wanting to go drink to make the day go by faster, or for me to be able to cope with the day. At home, I feel like me drinking, I get home and I want to take just a drink, and I find myself about 3 or 4 drinks in, it starts off as a relaxer, and then it becomes more of just borderline obsessive, and it affects me just the way I'm at home, not being active, I'm not physically or emotionally there for my family. I'm just more of just drunk till I go to sleep and just continue day by day that way.
Okay, so in a way you're using alcohol to get you through your days at work and use it at home as well, kind of just to pass time by.
I would say yes, I would say that's correct. I feel like at home I probably do it just because I wasn't able to do it at work as much as I wanted to, or at all. So I just do it at home.
Okay. And now, has your family expressed any concerns with your drinking habits?
Yes, they have. My kids have they've expressed that why am I always, well, they won't call it drunk because they don't really know what that is, but they always say, why am I not the same? Why am I not talking to them? Why do I seem like I'm always asleep? You know, why am I not coming to the games and picking them up like how I used to do in the past?
Okay, so your drinking habits is kind of affecting your relationship with your kids and making you more distant.
It
Does
is.
that sound right?
I believe it is.
Okay. So at this point, have you tried any ways to limit your drinking?
Like I said in the past, it's been something that's been going on for like over a year now. So I get to a point where I kind of stop, but it's very temporary. You know, obviously when my kids talk to me and my spouse, I feel a sense of I need to do better. I tell myself I will do better, and I just stop. But realistically, I don't think that's helped a lot because I always tend to go back eventually, and I find myself going back harder, making up for like the times I missed.
Okay, so do you feel that there has been life events that kind of brought you back to drinking during those times when you stopped?
I don't know if I can really say there's been life events. Luckily, work has been going very successful, so I don't know if I can really say maybe work has caused me because there's more expectations. But I really don't know what I can really say. You know, my kids have always been in my life. Nothing has really changed much. The only thing I could say possibly changed was just, a promotion at work. And I guess, being relied on more maybe. I think maybe that might have, but like I said, I don't really know if that's really the cause of it.
Okay, so do you think there's a correlation between picking up more responsibilities at work and wanting to go back to drinking?
I personally don't think so. I think it's just more of just me wanting to just, relax when I get home and just not knowing when to stop.
So how many drinks do you usually have when you?
A regular day, probably like 2 drinks, but a day I would want to be 1 to 2 drinks. Realistically, what happens is I end up drinking about 5 or 6.
Okay. And have you tried to maybe just cut back a little bit during those times when you're drinking, or?
Yeah, but while I'm in the act, I don't see it being a big deal because I'm still conscious and I'm just drinking throughout my stay at home.
Gotcha. I understand how that might be frustrating, trying to live up to expectations you have for yourself and also the expectations that your family has for you. Okay, now you said earlier that you want to stop drinking, or you want to drink less for your family and for your kids because it's affecting them, but do you want to stop drinking for yourself?
I do. I feel like I said, drinking before I used to be pretty active once I get back from work. Now I'm not active because I'm drinking. Yeah. And once I'm drinking, I'm kind of too tired or not in the right mind space to do anything. So yes, the ultimate goal is to stop drinking for myself, which will happen to affect a lot of people around me in a positive way. But if I don't stop drinking, I continue at this, I will eventually harm myself and most likely push the people around me away.
Yeah. So on one hand, you want to stop drinking because you feel like your habits are affecting your family, but on the other hand, you enjoy drinking, so it's hard to quit.
It is. Like I said, I've been drinking. It's been progressively increasing, just due to different factors. But like you did say, yes, short term I have tried to stop. I was able to stop successfully for like 1-2 months, but I think now I need to move to the point where I can do it long term. Just because 1-2 months is good, but then when I go back month 3, 4, and 5, I'm drinking just as much as I was before, and sometimes even more. My kids getting older and trying to be there for them. It's kind of hard to do that if I'm under the influence all the time, or I just can't have full conversations with them. So that's kind of where I sit now. Getting to the point where now I'm possibly about to move, so I can't say that's possibly maybe a stressor. Just thinking about the financial hold and just the burden and trying to restart a whole new life in a new location also affects me from time to time. I won't correlate that to me drinking, but I do feel like that has probably added to my drinking. Like I said, because even before I was supposed to move, I was already drinking.
So you feel like stressors like moving could be one of the reasons why you want to drink more, but it's not necessarily the full reason what's making you want to drink more.
I can agree to that. Sometimes typically if I am already drinking, just when I'm thinking about like life situations and stuff, if I do come across stuff like that, I tend to just be like, okay, as I'm trying to focus, as I'm trying to narrow those solutions, I find myself drinking more. So I would say maybe the time I'm spending processing stuff, that's why I'm using that opportunity to drink more. Or maybe it could just be because I'm stressed out from that situation, I don't know what to expect. Maybe that's why I'm drinking more.
Okay. And that must be frustrating, trying to figure out what's causing your drinking, but you can't really put...
That's kind of where I sit at now, just trying to get a control of it. And I guess the best way to get control is know what's causing it. And once I get that, I can try to mitigate as much as I can to potentially stop, or at least drink occasionally, which is obviously controlled.
Okay, so you said you want to get to the root of your problem, kind of? You want to figure out when this drinking problem started? Is that what you're saying?
That is correct.
Okay, so when did you start drinking heavily? When did you notice that you were drinking more than usual?
Well, I've been drinking since I was 17, so drinking is not new to me at all. I've been drinking since I was 17. In college, I realized I started drinking way more, but that was more of what would I call it? It was more for leisure, but I was drinking a lot more. But obviously at a young age, I could tolerate a lot more. Or now this is 10 years later, I'm still drinking at that same level and sometimes even more. And just because of where I am in life, I know like that's not responsible. And all my responsibilities at work and at home plays a big factor. So, like I was saying, I can't pinpoint when I started drinking as heavy, but I will say I've been drinking since a very young age. So I've been accustomed to it. And there are moments where I might drink more. Like I said, I'm getting ready to move. I think I might catch myself drinking more often, but sometimes at work when there's a big project, I might find myself drinking more, or at home, financial problems, I might find myself. So it's different points in life where I drink more, but overall I still drink a lot in general.
Okay. And where do you usually drink? Is it usually at home, at bars, or social settings?
Most of the time it's at home, just because I know how much I do drink. I try to prevent myself from being outside and drinking and putting myself and somebody else in harm. But, from time to time, I might go out to have a few drinks with the guys. And, once I'm at number 2 or 3, I typically stop just because, I'm typically about 40 minutes from home. So, luckily I have the conscience to know, I don't want to put myself or nobody else at harm.
Yeah, I agree. That's very responsible of you. I think not only are you thinking about yourself and keeping yourself safe, but others, potentially drinking and driving, and so I do want to commend you for that. That is very good.
Yeah, so like I said, I typically would do that, then come home, and once I get home, kind of like in my living room, I just, give me a water and just give me another cup, because I'm still awake, and I just start drinking, and then I slowly realize, like, if I'm watching the game or watching the shows, I'm just pouring more and more. And I think by the time it catches up to my body, it's a little too late. And then I realize like I'm a little bit above where I want to be at.
Okay, so I think what we can do there, because what you're saying is sometimes once you start drinking, it's hard for you to stop.
That's good.
So I think maybe what we can do here is establish like a little goal.
Okay.
And you can tell me how this sounds to you, if it's something you can see yourself doing. Because what we want to do here is we want to work together to come up with a goal that would work best for you in your specific situation. So maybe you can set a timer between drinks. If you have one drink and you're watching your game and you're doing all your stuff, and maybe set the timer for 30 minutes or so, and you can't have that second drink until that timer goes off.
Okay. I think that might help me, because overall, if you say 30 minutes, the time I'm using to do whatever I'm doing, realistically, I can't drink that much. And then hopefully during that time where that time is going off, my body can actually catch up to the alcohol, and then I can realize like, okay, maybe this is good enough for me to still remain functionable. So I do think maybe that could help I do know starting that off probably be hard just because I've never done that before. So I have to, have an intent to actually do that. And obviously, it's gonna take a lot of self-discipline for every 30 minutes or whatever time I deem responsible for me to, keep myself in line. And overall, hopefully that helps me with the number of drinks I take, which then can help me control how much I do want to actually drink.
Yeah, and you did say that you started drinking from a very young age, and it's something you've been doing for a long time. So going into setting these goals, we want to make little goals first that you feel is attainable, and then we can kind of go from there. But with that being said, I don't want you to feel like every goal has to be carried out. It's okay to make mistakes. Just make sure when you do make those mistakes that you're holding yourself accountable.
Okay.
Okay.
Can do that. So, like you said, I'll definitely try to hold myself accountable and get to that. Like, as of right now, like I said, I drink about 7 to 10 glasses a night. But I guess with the 30 minutes, I think my goal now would just be more pushing down to like maybe 4 or 5. I think at 4 or 5, I should still be conscious enough to be able to, move day to day better than what I've been doing before.
Yes.
And then hopefully, after doing that over some time, my body can adjust, see what's actually causing this, and see if it's just more of me having a recreational drink, or this is because of certain stuff I think about at certain times that causes me to drink more.
Yeah, I could see that being an issue, especially if if you're sitting down and you're kind of ruminating on a lot of thoughts that starts to stress you out. It might be easier just to reach for a drink. And that's why I want to go ahead and talk about self-care. And I actually have this nice little self-care wheel. Let me go ahead and grab it off the table for you. So I'm going to pass this to you in a second. I just kind of want to explain what we're doing here. So on this wheel, we have about 6 different focal points, and that's whether it's physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual, personal, professional aspects of your life. Now, when you move down into the wheel, then it kind of goes on to explain, smaller components of whatever bracket that we're talking about. So, for instance, I'm going to talk about physical. So it says safe housing, regular medical care, eating healthy, exercise, and pretty much what I want you to do is go through this wheel, and I want you can just make a mental note of the things that you feel that you are meeting in your life and the things that you feel like you need to improve on. So just take a moment to look over that. Yeah, okay. So what areas do you feel that you're comfortable with in your life? Or you feel you don't have to make any necessary changes?
I would say maybe a spiritual and a professional. The 2 heavy ones that I don't think I have to make as many changes.
Can you tell me more about that?
I would say the spiritual. I don't think my alcohol, at least to my knowledge, has affected me spiritually. Like I said, it's, I still have the belief, and I don't see how the alcohol has at least affected that. At least off what I'm looking at, that everything kind of still seems professional. Like I said, even though I do want to drink a lot, I think I have a good understanding of knowing, like, I'm in a work setting, and just in my position of I can't do it. So I think, at least as of right now, those 2 are being held very high in the catalog according to this wheel. Also, the professional, just like I kind of tell myself I do want to drink, like just wait till you get home.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of the build up. So when I do get home, I actually drink. But to answer your question, I think spiritual and professional will probably be the two that haven't been affected due to my alcohol right now.
Okay, and as far as the areas that you feel that you could make some improvements, what areas do you feel that you can improve on?
I think the biggest two would be personal and probably physical. Personal just being like I told you, kind of alcohol affects my personal life the most. Mostly the alcohol comes into play when I'm at home. So I think home would be called personal, just being there for my kids, being there for my spouse, physically, emotionally, just being a support system. I failed at that very often and unfortunately for too long. So I think alcohol has definitely taken a big toll on my personal life. When it comes to physical, like I told you, when I get home, I used to be very active. Now I just get home, I lay down, I kind of sit up and just watch TV, just drink. So that affects me. I feel like on the long run, it's gonna make my physical being just a physical. My physical itself just be, at a maybe all-time low. Like I feel right now maybe I'm at an all-time low, just not being physically active or physically challenged at all.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying your drinking habits has affected your family because a lot of times when you're drinking in your home, you're not really present, and it's affected you physically because when you're drinking, you don't feel like doing much of anything. It kind of just makes you stagnant almost.
No, that's 100% correct.
Okay. So right now, we know that we have the 3 areas that you feel like you want to improve on. So along with the goals that we set earlier, I also want you to take home this self-care wheel and put it somewhere that you can easily see it, maybe on the wall or on the fridge. And just every day, I want you to make small tweaks to your daily habits to really try to knock some things off that wheel. Okay?
Okay, I can definitely do that. I think I actually put it by my liquor stash.
That would be a great idea.
At least when I go over there, I can see this, and then that kind of gives me that reminder for that 30 minutes that we talked about.
Yeah.
And then at least, keep not taking a bottle with me might help. I think me having accessibility to it I won't call it help, but helps me while drinking because it's easier for me to just pour up. But if I put this beside my table, my counter, and I leave the bottle there, every time I do come back, I can automatically remember this. I do think this can play a big factor. Controlling, I guess, or giving me a sense of reminding me.
I think that's honestly a great idea. Definitely goes hand in hand with our goal, the 30-minute goal that we spoke of. And I just want to kind of go ahead and summarize, what we spoke about and what you're going to be working on, at least until the next session that we have. Okay. So you remember that, we're going to implement that 30-minute window between drinks.
I remember that.
Okay, and then we're also going to always refer back to that self-care wheel when you're home.
I will.
Okay, is there anything else that you feel like you want to really hone in on before next appointment?
No, like I said, I will definitely, take that into matters when I get home. I'm going to talk to my spouse about it too. Because I feel like she'd be able to help me and keep me accountable to it, and at least, give me a sense of purpose of why I'm doing this. And like we said, the next appointment, like we said, the short-term goal. So we're just gonna, try to see how the 30 minutes is affecting me. Then hopefully by the time I see you next, I can, I'm having better luck with the time.
Yeah.
And then maybe hopefully we can add another goal to it,
Mm-hmm.
and just keep it as it is. As I'm still motivated to do it, and hopefully eventually it's just not a problem anymore.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like it's something that we can definitely work towards. And as always, it's a pleasure seeing you today, Mr. Akintoye.